Good morning, warriors. Please join me in the pledge to the Bible. I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I will hide its words in my heart, that I might not sin against God. Join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, how do you like my pajamas? See, I sleep in these and then I don't have to worry about what I'm going to wear the next day. I love the pajamas. Thank you guys for being a part of it and dressing up in Warrior Week. It's been a really great week. We do want to remember, though, that regardless of what day it is, regardless of what week it is, that we're always going to do our best at school and obey. Obey? Excellent. We're working through our catechism questions. We've learned who God is. We've learned about his relationship with us and his relationship with the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in the Trinity. We know that God is different than us. He doesn't have a body like us. He's a spirit. And now we're learning about if we can see God, if he knows all things, and if he can do all things. Let's do that. Can you see God? Right, but he always sees me. Does God know all things? Yes. Right, nothing can be hidden from God. Can God do all things? Yes. Let's try that again. So it says, yes, God can do all his holy will. So let's try it again. Can God do all things?
Yes. God can do all his holy will.
We talked about this, that, some people like to kind of snicker at that. Well, if God can do all things, why doesn't he sin? Or why doesn't he make a rock so big that he could crush himself? Well, the second part of the catechism is important. He's going to do only his holy will. He would never do something to violate his laws, his commandments. Actually, the person that does whatever they want, however they want, is actually Satan. So people that say, well, why doesn't God just do whatever he wants if he's God? That's actually not God. That's actually the image of Satan. That's what he does. He just does whatever he wants, breaks all the laws, and only God is the one who is God, who can keep his holy will. And by doing that, he's a good, faithful, and true God. We've been talking through our song this week. We are using Daniel as our example. We learned on Monday that Daniel had good friends. His band is what the song calls them. His good friends, his good company, and they made a good, wise choice. Even though everyone else was enjoying the pleasures of this world, they stayed true, and then God blessed them. We also learned that God elevated Daniel through good choices and gave him some supernatural ability. And then when he was at the top of the rank in Babylon, he was one of the highest officials there. He still stayed true to prayer, and jealous people tried to get him killed, and he stood alone on God's promises, and God delivered him. Today we're going to talk about the other part of the song, and one of the verses in the song talks about giants stalking through the land. When we hear about giants, what person or what story comes to mind? What's the writer of this song trying to bring to mind when he talks about giants stalking through the land? Yes. Yeah, David and Goliath, right? David and Goliath. But the story kind of makes it a little bit broader about giants, and one of the things that we talk about a lot in Annapolis with our classical literature is also dragons, giants and dragons. And in classical literature in the Bible, those always represent like fierce things that we have to fight. One of my favorite stories, and one that I hope that you've heard before, is a story about St. George and defeating the dragon. The story is a great story because it reminds us that we all have giants and dragons in our life. And the song reminds us that we can either have a choice to stand on the Lord's promises and fight and defeat the giants and dragons, or turn and run. And the story says so many run away, but we want to stand like Daniel and his band. So the story of St. George is this. Back in the time of knights and kings and castles, there was this small village. And next to this village was this swamp. In the swamp was this mean, horrible dragon. And the people in the town were so scared of him, they decided to feed him. And so they would give him a sheep a day. And the dragon would come out of the swamp, eat the sheep, and then go back. And the townspeople felt safe. But eventually, what happened? They ran out of sheep. They didn't know what to do, and they were scared. So what they did is they started sending the small children one by one out there. Well, one day, a brave knight was riding by on his horse, and he saw this beautiful young lady tied to a tree. Well, being a knight and wanting to be chivalrous, he goes over and he rescues her, and he finds out that she is the king's daughter. And he also finds out that she is the dragon's next meal. Well, what's a knight to do? Is he going to leave her there? Absolutely not. Well, out comes the dragon, and brave St. George pulls out his sword, and he fights the dragon. He gets a lance and eventually slays the dragon and kills it, rescues the princess, and then wins the freedom of the townspeople. That is a great example of all the different things that we face. We all face these dragons that sometimes we're scared of. We let them kind of day after day kind of consume us and take away our freedom, take away things that we love and our joy. But we need to stand on God's promises, and in the example of St. George, take out that sword and fight. Slay the dragon, get the girl, and then win the day for the Lord. So today, as we think about, I know we're in pajamas, but today we want to be warriors. We want to slay those dragons, whether that's a big, scary test, whether that's maybe friends that maybe our friendships that we're having some trouble with, or maybe things at home, or just being uncertain or being scared about things. Whatever that dragon or giant is, we want to slay it today in the power of the Lord. So we are singing our school fight song as we are working on it. Are we good to go, Mr. LeBron? Okay, thumbs up. So we're going to sing our school fight song. Remember, we're going to fight, warriors fight. Give it a good shout. All right, so today we're going to be warriors. We're going to slay those dragons and fight those giants and win the day for the Lord. So our chant this week is I'll say warriors. You say fear only God. Let's try it. Warriors. Fear only God. The Lord be with you.